Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Tasting at the Two. I'm your host as always, Chris Baldiga, co-creator, co-founder of Two Lads Winery. Welcome to the gun show. Not that kind of gun show, this kind of gun show. We have just a few wines that we ever label with this R. This is the R badge. If you get the R badge in your reserve wine at Two Lads, we mean it, damn it. Not this winery California thing where every year they make a grand reserve of something or other. No. It's not always a reserve year. For us, in particular for Cabernet Franc, which is one of the more challenging grapes we grow in a cool climate in northern Michigan, to get a reserve red is truly a challenge. When we put it on there and it gets the R badge, we mean it. And you can expect greatness from that. Don't expect anything less from us either. Hold us to it. So let's talk a little bit about Cabernet Franc. This is 2016. After 14 and 15, which are those two polar vortex years where we had almost no fruit on the vines were in a state where in 2016, they were ready to go. They didn't have to carry a large fruit load in any of the two previous years, so they had a lot of pent up energy. They were well positioned in the spring to be successful. The year was great, and we got to be really selective at harvest, which is great. You get to get optimal fruit from a block you like. This Cabernet Franc comes from 10 rows out in the middle of our southernmost Cabernet Franc block, and it truly are grapes that have a little bit smaller size, so the ratio of skin to juice is a little bit higher. You get a little more color, you get a little more tannin and intensity of that kind of northern Michigan style. So it's not just black, dark, heavy tannin alcohol. There's acidity, there's freshness, there's a little bit of that kind of sandy loam and gravel that come through in the wine. It's beautiful. It's everything that I think that we strive to show you in Cabernet Franc as a single grape. So we're gonna check it out. We don't make a lot of this wine. This is one that we only made 210 cases of. That's the most we'd ever made. We had 8 barrels that were just fantastic. You know, it's one of those things where we make Cabernet Franc and there's a lot of barrels that may make it into the reserve program, but we try to be super selective and overly critical of those wines in barrel as you're tasting them in their constituent forms of which barrels you think might make it. You know, you've got some earmark that you're like, this guy's going in the reserve, I'm sure of it. And then you get 6, 8, 10 months down the road watching them age in oak and you go, you know, he didn't make it. That guy's out. You're in the regular Cab Franc. You're out. You're out of the big leagues, kid. But for this one, those 8 barrels that made it, they truly were exceptional. It's 75% brand new French oak, 25% single-use French oak. So we do mean to have some of not only the tannin, but some of that oak show up in the wine. And I'm excited to try it. This is one of those things where we don't get to try reserve wines a lot. We're not cracking bottles, as much as I'm sure you all think that this is one of those, what do you do at a winery? Well, it's not cracking bottles and drinking reserve wine all the time, but today it is. So I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it. So this wine we opened yesterday, and I would advise anybody that's doing this, open this 6, 7 hours ahead of when you're gonna drink it. Open it at noon, have it ready for dinner. If you're gonna drink it at noon, open it when you get up in the morning at 6. If you're gonna drink it at 6, well, it's a different conversation we need to have. But I would say the nice thing about this wine is that it has a ton of potential, and it's still a little bit tight when we open it up, which is great, which I think shows, speaks to the longevity that this wine still has. So as of 2016, even opening it now, after it's bottled fall of 18, it still is really tight, it's wound up, and it takes a minute to open. So opening this yesterday, it's much more open and expressive at this point. There's a graphite element to this wine right off the bat, where you see a little bit of that dark stony side that Cabernet Franc can have on a warmer vintage. There's lilac and a little bit of the perfumey side from Cab Franc. Black cherry. There's almost a cola thing going on in there, like you know, sometimes we see like Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola things going on. No copyright infringement meant, sorry about that. But the fruit really is the star of the show. It's delicate, it's silky, it's super pretty. We're gonna try this one real quick. I know it's a shame. I know you guys are gonna comment, you're gonna call, and I'm gonna hear about it. Why is he spitting? I gotta spit the wine out, come on. We take a couple of takes before you know it, I'm that, you know, I'm Orson Welles from the old Gallo commercial. Well, this wine, we don't want that. We're gonna be serious here. So, on the palate, the Reserve Cab Franc is, I mean, it is so elegant and structured in that it goes through that progression of flavors. The initial attack has beautiful fresh fruit. There's the black cherry, the plum. It leads into the darker, kind of silkier sides of the wine too, with that that graphite, that black cherry that show up. Then there's cedar, There's great tannin and dustiness. The tannins though are well integrated. It's not that aggressive tannin where you're done with the wine and you go, oh my God. It doesn't leave you with that kind of astringent, dry feeling. They're really well integrated, really pretty. And that finish just goes, man. It just goes and goes and goes. It's so lengthy and pretty. What a cool wine. This is one of those things where it just kind of reaffirms, I think, what we're trying to do with the Cabernet Franc program and with the Reserve program, that when you do finally earn one and you put the R badge on it, you know, it's over the fence, man. It's knocked out of the park. So this one is available, as with everything else we've got right now on the website. That's 2lwinery.com. You can check it out. This is 75 bucks. We have a great deal. Wine Club members, you guys always get your discounts on top of that pricing. And if you buy 3 or more bottles, it doesn't have to be all the same bottle. You can mix and match from everything right now. It ships for just 5 bucks for 3 or more bottles. So check it out and treat yourself. Treat yourself. Get some Reserve Cabernet Franc in your life. Thanks.